Stop moving. What is wrong with you? What?
I have a lot of questions.
Questions? About what?
You know, when you talk in English so perfectly.
I know. Thank you.
Just please. Okay? Okay?
All right. Go on.
So, when I hear you talking, I can understand every word you say.
Mm-hmm.
But when you ask me a question,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happens to me.
What happens?
It's like the words disappear.
Hmm.
And I get tongue-tied.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what is going on. Do I need help? Am I sick?
Yes, you're sick. You need help. No. No. Let's be serious.
I'm desperate.
All right. Let me tell you something. Your problem is very common. So sit tight and let's discuss this problem. But before you go and sit tight, I need you to go and bring us 2 cappuccinos. And then we can start.
Okay.
And then, what about you? Go, bring your cappuccinos and let's sit and talk over this problem. And before you go, don't forget to hit the like and share and subscription button. Thank you. So let's start with your first problem. You just said that you cannot answer a question I ask, although you understand all the words and all the sentences that I say. That brings us to a very important question. Do we speak enough in English? Do we? Do we speak enough? Do we speak as much as we read and we listen? Do you?
No, I don't think we do.
So, the first problem is that we give a lot of emphasis to listening than to speaking. I'm not saying that listening too much is wrong. No, listening to English is good. But listening only helps you understand what you are hearing. So, as an English learner, listening is not enough. You have to practice the skill of speaking as much as the skill of listening. That is why you get to understand me, but you have a lot of problems applying or speaking your mind, or you have a lot of problems responding to my questions. So the first problem is we do not give speaking its own right. That is why one of the ways to help you speak better and more fluently is to speak as much as you listen. Let me give you an example. Now, I've been speaking for about 1 or 2 minutes, and you are listening to me and you understand every word I say, right? Did you try maybe one time stopping the video right now and repeating what I said? Choose, for example, 15 seconds of what I just said, and then try to repeat it. Here, at this point, you are practicing the skill of speaking. So the more you speak, the better you will be at speaking. So my first point and my first tip to you to help you overcome this problem is to start speaking. How do you speak? Speak in many different ways. You listen to me right now, speak in English, so try to repeat what I say. As simple as that. For example, I'm speaking right now in English. Pause it and then go and say, I'm speaking right now in English. 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 Just like that. The more you do this, the more natural you will become at speaking, and such words and phrases will naturally appear in your mind without even thinking about what you want to say. All right? Very nice. All right? The second problem is we memorize vocabulary. We always think that if we want to speak English, we need to have a lot of vocabulary. Now, that is partially correct. We need to have vocabulary. But what kind of vocabulary? Is it just important to memorize and store words in our notebooks and write next to them the translations and that's it? That's how we get vocabulary in English? Of course, not like that. If we do this, we will have all the words stored in our mind, but they will not be in good use. That is a problem a lot of English learners make when trying to learn another language. They think that if they want to learn another language, they will have to memorize a lot of vocabulary. Memorizing a lot of vocabulary does not just mean to translate the word and put it on your notebook. No, not like this. Not like this. You have to read the vocabulary and understand how to use it in actual speech. So for example, let me give you a word. One word that comes to my mind right now is the word extrovert. Extrovert. The word extrovert, if we go to Google Translate and translate it, it will mean that it is confident, or it is an adjective to describe someone who is confident. Okay, that is good. But if I just keep memorizing vocabulary like this, what will happen at the end? What will happen is simply that you will just store it in your mind and you will not be able to use it in actual speech. Unless you go and try to use the word that you just learned in actual conversation. Put it in a sentence. Put it in a sentence. Use it like, for example, I'm extrovert. She's extrovert. He's an extrovert person. Things like this. So if you try to go and memorize words and vocabulary in their context, this means that you are on your right way to start speaking fluently and with no problems at all. Okay? Okay? The third problem. Now, let's start with the third problem that may face us in this regard. The problem is that every time we tell this problem to our English teachers, they tell us, you have to start thinking in English and not think in Arabic. And we always ask ourselves this question: why do we have to speak in English while thinking in English? Let me tell you why. This is our brain. First of all, why am I telling you this? Is this. Just imagine the situation. I asked you a question. Where did you go yesterday? Where did you go yesterday? You received the question. Now, if you are a person who has problems speaking, you will do this. You will put the question in your mind and you will start analyzing the question. Where did you go? That means that did is in the past simple. So when I want to answer, I need to go to the grammar rule of the past simple in the affirmative subject plus verb to plus the rest. What's the past of go? I went to university. Notice, it took you a lot of time to answer the question. This is one way when you start thinking about the rules of English. Now, when you start thinking about translation, where did you go? Where أين did الماضي you go أين ذهبت? So أنا ذهبت. I went to university. What happens here? Of course, you got the answer correctly, but what happens? You wasted a lot of time. This is number one. If you do this, please have a little touch on your forehead. What happens? You will find that you are boiling. Your temperature is very high. What happens? Here, your mind got so busy analyzing and translating from English to Arabic and from Arabic to English. This is all a lot of problems to your mind, and of course it will directly affect the way you speak in English. Consider and think about your mind as a smartphone. And in order for your smartphone to be working very properly, you need to have, of course I'm not talking about very smartphones, I'm talking about the normal smartphones. You have to have one app open at a time. And in this regard, I mean the English app. If you keep switching between the English app and the Arabic app, this means that the app will get hotter, or your phone will get hotter, and suddenly it will tell you the English app suddenly stopped. And then you will feel that all the words will go out and all the words will disappear, and you will be left out with no words and no sentences to say. That is the actual explanation why when somebody asks us a question, we feel that the words disappear. That is one point. So my point to you, in order to avoid this, is to start thinking in English. How do I start thinking in English? As I said in the previous point, try to start learning vocabulary, learning, let's say, phrases in their own context, so that when you want them, they will be ready to use without thinking about them and without like forcing yourself to remember things that will take up a lot of your time, and a lot of your energy. That's my point. Now, what is the fourth and last point I have for today? The last point that I want to tell you, and for all those who have problems speaking, is that actually this problem is related to the first one, which is not speaking enough. But it has more ideas. I told you that we, as learners of English, we tend to listen more, we tend to write more, but we don't speak enough. That's why we have this problem. For example, if we are watching a movie, we only watch the movie. We don't try to speak what the actor or the actress is saying. That is why we get to understand them by time, of course. We get to understand them because we are practicing the skill of listening. So our listening skill becomes so good that we can understand them quickly and with no trouble at all. So what should we do in order to start speaking? Not just like them, of course I'm not saying like them, but to start speaking confidently and fluently. First of all, there is a technique that you can use in order to solve this problem of speaking with some problems. This technique is called foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is when you try to repeat what you hear or what you listen to exactly, using the same words, the same sentences, the same pattern, the same intonation, the same in everything. Look at this sentence. I tried to call him, but his mobile phone was off. I tried to call him, but his mobile phone was off. I tried to call him, but his mobile phone was off. Did you just hear what I said? Right. Foreshadowing tells you that you need to repeat this sentence exactly the same way I said it. I tried to call him. I tried to call him. I tried to call him. But his mobile was off. But his mobile was off. You see, the more you try and practice this skill, then you will indirectly be developing your speaking skill, and you will also be getting a lot of phrases that I told you about If you do this, your speaking skill will be developed by time, and your listening skill will be also good, so that when you try to speak to somebody who is just speaking to you in English, you will not find these problems that you just found in the past. Do you understand me? So let's remember. Number 1, speak as much as you listen and write. You have to do this. Number 2, learn vocabulary, but learn them the correct way. Learn them in their own contexts. Do not learn them in isolation. Number 3, please start thinking in English when you speak. Do not think in Arabic. It will help you sometime, but it will not help you when you speak fluently. Yes, you will speak eventually, but it will take you a lot of time and energy to speak. Number 4, and the most important one in my opinion, is to practice the skill or the technique of foreshadowing. Foreshadowing will elevate and will take your English speaking skill to the next level. I hope these ideas, I hope these tips are helpful, and I hope that I answered some of your questions that you have about this very problem in English. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and share the video with your friends. Thanks and goodbye.